Yo guys, and welcome to my review of episode 31 of Yugioh Go Rush, the duel between Asaka and Ran, or Ran, whatever. Um, Overall, this was a very solid episode. We are going to start with the duel, because I think there is a little bit less to talk about there. Overall, I thought it was fine. The remote duel aspect was very funny. The fact that the connection freezes, and that they explain how to do it and everything. And I think to me the funniest part is in Yu-Gi-Oh! They absolutely never ask for an effect of a card, but here, back to back, both Asaka and Ran ask each other what their cards do. That's so rare in the actual card game, so I thought that was very funny. But aside from that, a solid duel. I think the main thing to take from this duel, and I don't think any people are talking about it, but this duel does something very important, especially seeing where we are in this arc now, and that is that it made all future duels completely unpredictable. This is something that we that watched Sevens were waiting for, since basically the entirety of season 1 was completely predictable just because of the order of the duels and how they appeared, right? So you knew the person who went first lost, and Go Rush has been the exact same way. Again, the only things that don't matter there are the two-part episodes, because you can't really predict those in that way. But now this was the first duel that we got. That was three turns. So that means from now on we can no longer instantly know who's going to win the duel. And seeing as we are now getting into this friendship tournament kind of arc, this is great, and this is again something that we've been waiting for a good while. The only other, I think, aspect that was interesting in the whole duel, or in this, I guess, in Matsuba, was Nyandestar. She felt weird to me ever since that the finale against Rovian, when London and the Bakuro variant went up, she tried to go after them, and then she just weirdly watched them. I'm guessing she knows the Great King of Terror. That kind of makes sense, but apart from that, again, a fine enough duel. Now we get into the main part of this episode, that being the London and Bakuro story, or I guess you could call it the B plot of this episode. So we have finally gotten the nail variant, and there is a lot to take just from him. Before we get into that, it is also important to see that we did get a little bit of a backstory with London and Rovian. We know that she has kind of always been this weird as she is now, so that's not an influence of that hat as some people thought. We also know that she has kind of always known of the Great King of Terror, right? She has known about him for a while now, so that's kind of crazy to think that this whole thing has been, leading up to for years. So that's interesting, but obviously the main point here is the nail variant, whose name is the Providence. For the people who haven't watched Sevens, it's not the Star Providence. You don't read that star symbol. It's almost kind of like how those stars that were sometimes used in the Yu-Gi-Oh logo, it's kind of just used as space between the words, so it's just the Providence. Again, the reason we know this is because that type of naming system was very prominent in Sevens, specifically with Luke. Not going too heavily into spoilers, but there was a kind of alternative form for Luke, kind of the best way to explain it without spoiling it, that was called the Luke Man, and it was written in the exact same way, the and then the star and Luke Man, and he had an entire deck that was named around this. He had the dragon, the star dragon, which also had that star in between, the wyvern, he had like a trap called the barrier, and the fact that the snail variant is the right hand man for the Great King of Terror, it currently just seems like it has to be Luke, or at least the Luke variant, and the silhouette of the Great King of Terror, the hair is also just very similar to Luke's. It could not be, but it's just that little name system really hints so heavily at Luke that I think currently we can't really go for any other theory, because this one just has so much going for it. The only other thing that the snail variant also gives us, which is very big, is the option of now having maximums. And I do believe that the thing that he gave, the Bakuro variant at the end of the episode, was maximum cards. I'm guessing he's going to give them both to London and the Bakuro variant, and that they're going to be used. And I also don't think that they're going to be used by the Great King of Terror next week. I think either London, Bakuro, or the Nail variant are going to use it. It's going to be one of them that are going to drop a maximum for the first time. But overall, just such a huge episode, and now I'm so excited to see what's next. It feels like we're getting closer and closer to that connection between Sevens and Go Rush, and I'm very excited to see where we go from here. But you guys tell me your thoughts in the comments. Did you love this episode? Did you hate it? Do you have any other theories on who the Great King of Terror is? And I'll see you guys next week.